Sick of this internet.
Ah, you got a keen eye for good product.
That right.
Yep, but you know the product, that's only part of the sale. You're also buying what's behind it.
What do you mean?
Well, every item has a story. One that carries from owner to owner. The history persists, embedded inside every object. You can find it in a chipped cup or a greasy handprint on a towel even. They all remind you that someone was here once.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
It's not what the subtitle said.
You've been coming around here so much, you're basically a regular.
You've got great stuff.
Most shop owners would offer a discount or the like, but not me. Nothing personal, but you start handing out freebies, you have people up in arms asking, why not me, Doma? Don't need to hassle.
That makes sense.
Oh, what a helpful droid.
Can't go wrong with this.
I'll say
This'll be useful.
you know a good deal when you see it. Oh, I knew that one would catch your eye.
5, 10. There's 16 of those left.
Gotta stay calm.
The frogs remain. They do. I apologize for my internet being shit. Alright, come on. Oh! Oh my gosh. This is going to drive me mad. I can't believe I have to do this again. Oh, I wish I could afford a PS5. But no, they had to go up in price. It's not like every freaking console ever goes down in price throughout the history of ever, but no, the PS5 had to go up. Suck my balls.
The echo's still here.
Yes, I know it's still there, Cal. You don't need to remind me. I'm trying. Here we go again. I'm gonna die. I already know. Here we go.
I need help.
Oh, come on, jump, you bastard.
Now.
Ah, I was trying to jump. I was trying to jump. See, now this wouldn't be so bad if the loading times didn't take forever. Like, like I can't even give it to Fallen Order because Fallen Order was also really bad about the loading screens. Oh my gosh, Fallen Order was awful about it. Like I have Fallen Order on my YouTube channel as a series, like as like a show type thing. And it the majority of it is cut, like the majority of the stuff that I cut out in editing is just loading. The I cut out so much. I feel like if I had uploaded just the footage of the amount of times it was loading, it would have been like 5 times the length of just the series.
The echo's still here. I don't think that did it.
Alright, here we go. Come on. Like, I feel like even though Survivor with its loading is pretty bad, I feel like Fallen Order is worse about it. I really do. Fallen Order was awful. And I mean that with loading. I think Fallen Order was a better game, but I mean in terms of loading. I'm pretty sure. Oh, come on. Hey, how about you not?
Help, please! Hey, bud, it's them!
Jump, you bastard!
BD!
Ow. Oh my gosh. Ow, rude. That was very rude. What? How'd that kill me? No, that shouldn't have killed me. That doesn't do that much. Nonsense. Shenanigans. I call shenanigans. See, I wish they would just give me the option just to retry. Like, how come it just automatically retries when it comes to an obstacle course one? Whenever there's an obstacle course tear, oh, it just immediately retries. I don't have to go into the freaking menu or don't have to go into the freaking main game every time.
That didn't work. Wonder what happened here.
Oh, you wonder.
Gotta stay calm.
I did this on the Series X. I thought the world turned. No idea why this. Yeah, for real. And just keep in mind, PS4. Oh boy. Wow, cool, great, love it, awesome, good, love it, cool, awesome, great. Gotta love just wasting time. You know what? Where's my freaking... Alright. Does anyone want me to read from my book? I'm currently on book 5 of Dexter. On chapter 5, hilariously enough. It's like in between the loading, just start reading. It's like, I don't know if you've seen the show Dexter. It's pretty good. But I gotta say, so far when I'm reading the books to compare, the books are a bit darker. But there are so many differences. Like, it's almost hard to believe, yeah, there are times it's like, okay, yeah, it's obvious it came from this, but it's like, there are times it's like, these are two different dudes. These are two different stories. Oh, good, we're
I
loaded.
think it's still
Like,
troubled.
for example, if you've seen the show, you know that Dexter has a son named Henderson. Well, in book 5, apparently no, he has a daughter named Lillian. Okay, chapter 5. I spent an hour Hold on, I need some water. Okay, let me just... Oh, well, find that. Alright. Like, something that's crazy to me is that someone who dies in season 7 dies in book 1. That's what drove me nuts for the longest time, and it still drives me crazy. How does someone who dies in season 7 die in book 1? How did they drag her out that long? I said to jump, you bastard.
PD, stiff.
Will you just let me do my move?
Another.
Anytime I'm about to freaking release it, that's when they do their move. Timing is awful on this thing. Come on. Will you just let me throw the damn thing? Jeez, and at any time. So annoying. Just let a guy throw his... You know what? Screw this. Why are they so annoying? Who thought this was a good idea? Especially the Rancor. You guys are so rude.
Little help, BD.
Bullshit. Alright. Chapter 5. I spent an hour sitting with Rita and watching Lillian sleep, fuss, and feed. Objectively speaking, it was not really a great deal of activity, but it was far more enjoyable and interesting than I would have imagined. I suppose it is no more than a form of egotism to find your own baby so very fascinating. Certainly, I had never found other babies compelling, but whatever it might say about me, I did it now, and I liked it. Rita dozed, waking only once when Lillian twitched and kicked for a few seconds. Only then, a few minutes later, Rita frowned, opened her eyes, and looked at the clock on the wall above the door. "The kids," she said. "Yes," I said, watching as Lillian reacted to Rita's voice by curling and uncurling one tiny hand. "Dexter, you have to pick up Cody and Astor," she said, "at the after-school program."
I think it's still troubled.
"Yeah, you don't say." Oh yeah, and another thing. Cody and Astor are also much darker in the book. Like they don't seem to be like they're just seem to be normal kids in the series. They're they are they are not normal kids in the book. Like it kind of went over it in books 3 and 4, but he only touched on it. He never really go deep into it. I blinked. It was true. The program closed at 6, and the young woman running it began to get very cranky by 1:15. The clock said 10 minutes to 6. There are 10 minutes of 6. I would just make it. Why do you guys just decide when you want to load fast? That's just rude. Why is that brain rot in my head? Why do hot dogs come with a pack of 12 when I can only shove 10 up my ass?
Hit me. Stim, BD.
Well, son of a bitch. Alright, I said, and I stood up, reluctantly tearing myself away from my baby watching. "Bring them back here," Rita said, and she smiled. "They need to meet their new sister." I headed out the door, already imagining the wonderful scene. Cody and Astor stepping softly into the room, their little faces lit up with love and amazement, seeing for the first time the tiny wonder that was Lillian. The scene was crystal clear in my mind, rendered with the combined genius of Leonardo da Vinci and Norman Rockwell, and I found myself smiling as I ambled down the hall to the elevator. It was a real smile, too, an actual, unfaked, spontaneous human expression. And surely Cody and Astor would soon be wearing the same fond smile, gazing down at their new sister and realizing as I had that a life on the dark path was no longer necessary. Which is crazy. How are we only at book 5? There's 8
It's still
books.
troubled.
And this is where he's already at. He's already at like, oh, the kids
I can do this.
So it's like this, like, I read a little bit into this chapter before starting it over, but I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with this. Like this next paragraph, he goes into it a little bit more, but I'm like, I don't really necessarily agree that Cody and Aster are going to really agree with, oh, hey, there's a new baby. We don't need to be crazy anymore. Like, I think that's just you, dog. So I think that's gonna be the main plot of this book. It's gonna be Cody and Aster being like, "Hey, you promised you would teach us. What's going on?" If the game could load properly, that'd be great. Cause I can see it not loading properly. Dude, I wasn't even near him. The game isn't even loading properly. Look at his textures. Dude, that is so rude on so many levels. Okay, hold on. Let me. For Cody and Aster had also been condemned to walk in shadows, monsters like me, flung into darkness by the savage abuses of their biological father. And I, in my own wicked pride, had promised to steer their little feet onto the hairy path, teaching them to be safe and code-abiding predators as I was. But surely the coming of Lily Ann had changed all that. They too would have to see that everything was new and different. There was no longer any need to slink and slash. Sorry, sometimes when I'm reading, I'll think I'm about to read the same line again. I'm like, wait a minute, make sure you're reading the next line down. And how could I? In this brave new world, even think of. And see,
Looks like it's
sometimes
still
with
here.
your freaking. Uh, sometimes with the punctuation, you gotta reread it, forget is what he means.
Gotta stay calm.
And how could I, in this brave new world, even think of helping them spin away into that dreadful abyss of death and delight? I could not. Everything was new now. I would lead them to the light, set their feet on the path to the good life, and they would grow to be decent, upstanding human beings, or the best possible imitations. People can change. Wasn't I already changing, right before my own very eyes? I had already had an emotion and a real smile. Anything was possible. The first attempt went so well, too. That's how it goes. It's always the first one that goes the greatest, and anytime I try to replicate it, it does not go well. That's so rude.
I need one.
How many times do I have to push the button? Change your stance! Dude, that's not what I pushed. That time I pushed it. He's not changing his stance.
Help.
I'm pushing the double saber. It's not working. Whatever. That is such bullshit. I was trying to freaking change my stance and it wouldn't let me. I was spamming the button and he was just standing there. Where was I? We're here. It already had right here. And so, with a true surge of genuine human confidence that all would see that all would soon be rose petals, I drove to the after-school program, which was at a park near our house. The traffic was in full rush hour, homicidal flow. Oh, not, I forgot the in. I apologize. It's been a while since I read out loud. I have been out of school for like 10 years. The traffic was in full rush hour. Homicidal. Could you do it right? The traffic was in full rush hour homicidal flow, and I had a new insight into what made Miami drivers tick.
Still something missing.
Shut up, Cal. Come on. These people weren't angry. They were anxious. Each one of them had someone waiting for them at home. Someone they hadn't seen all miserable work day long. Of course they got upset if another driver slowed them down. Everyone had a Lillian of their own to get home to, and they were understandably eager to get there. It was a dizzying image. For the first time I felt a real kinship for these people. Okay. Here we go again. Are you gonna let me change my stance? You're not gonna let me change my stance. I don't know why you're not letting me change my stance.
Help! Stim!
Oh, hello! Jump! I was jumping. You saw me in the air? It shouldn't have counted. Shouldn't have counted. Oh, gotta love it. I am ecstatic. Oh, you can hear the thrill in my voice of how much fun I'm having. Where was I? Right here. It was a dizzying image. For the first time, I felt a real kinship with these people. We were connected, one great ocean of humanity bound together by a common goal. And I found myself humming a pleasant tune and nodding with forgiveness and understanding toward each upraised middle finger that came my way. Yeah, I would like to say that's a pretty common thing in these books, is the traffic. Like, I'm surprised it hasn't been, like, maybe it will be, like, in book 8 or something, but that's been, like, a common trope in so much of the books, is how much the Miami traffic sucks and how much you get flipped off.
The echo's still here.
So, like, I wonder if that's gonna come into play somehow down the line, because it's like, you really bring a lot of attention to it. I made it to the park only a few minutes late, and the young woman standing anxiously at the door gave me a relieved smile as she handed Cody and Esther over to me. Mr. Morgan, she said, already fishing for keys in her purse. How is, Lillian is doing pretty well, I said. She will be in here finger painting for you in no time. Okay, come on. I was in the air, you bastard.
Stim! Stim! No!
Ooh, boy. Rude, sir.
Over here!
my ass cheeks. I hate these inconsistent moves. Sometimes they do one, sometimes they do two. They're very inconsistent with it. Finger painting. And Mrs. Morgan, why do you keep... You're not even doing a cut, whatever. And Mrs. Morgan, she said, resting comfortably. Which, I said, which must have been the correct cliche because she nodded and smiled again and stuck the key into the door of the building. All right, kid, she said. I'll see you both tomorrow. Bye. And she hurried off to her car, at the other end of the parking lot from mine. I'm hungry, Master said as we approached my car. When is dinner? Pizza, Cody said. First, we're going back to the hospital, I said, so we can meet your new... Not we. So you can meet your new sister. Astor looked at Cody, and he looked back, and then they both turned to me.
That wasn't it. The echo hasn't faded.
Baby, Cody muttered, shaking his head. He never said more than 2 or 3 words at a time, but his eloquence was astounding. We want to eat first, Astor said. Lillian is waiting for you, and your mother. Get in the car. But we're hungry, Astor said. Don't you think meeting your new sister is more important? I said. No, Cody said. The baby isn't going anywhere. Oh, here we go. I'm surprised. I really feel like since I started reading between the loading screens, I feel like the loading is taking quicker. Like I feel like it's screwing with me personally. See what I mean? Sometimes it's a 1, sometimes it's a 2. Make up your mind.
Help, PD.
Either kill me or don't.
Hit me.
Go away. It's a good use of time. Yeah. No!
Toss me one, PD.
Go away, Spawn. I'm trying to deal with your father. Rude! That almost killed me. So did that.
I need help.
That is extremely rude. That is so rude! That is so rude! They freaking stun-locked me! It is extremely rude. The baby isn't going anywhere, and it isn't really doing anything except lying there and maybe pooping, Astor said. We've been sitting in that dumb building for hours, and we're hungry. We can get a candy bar at the hospital, I said. Candy bar, Astor said, making it sound like I had suggested she eat week-old roadkill. We want pizza, Cody said. I sighed. Apparently rosy glows were not contagious. Yeah, it's contagious, but I don't know if I would have said rosy glows were not contagious. Like, I get what he's saying, but I don't know if I would have worded it like that.
I think
Like,
it's
I
still
know I'm
trouble.
not the author here, but I don't know if I would have worded it like
I can
that.
do this.
Like, I get what he's going for. Like, the rose-covered glasses, like the rose-tinted glasses thing. I get it. It's just, I don't know if I would have worded it. That's just odd. Just get in the car, I said, and with a glance at each other, and a surely double stare from me, they did. The drive back to the hospital theoretically should have been the same distance as the trip in from the hospital to the park. But in fact, it seemed to be twice as long, since Cody and Astor sat in complete and sullen silence the whole way, except that every time we passed a pizza place, Astor would call out, "There's Papa John's," or Cody would say quietly, "Domino's." Just get the boys some pizza. Just get the kids some pizza. Oh, that's a good idea. Hold on. Can I do that? How can I do that? I don't know how to do that hold on. Nope. I don't know how to do that midstream on YouTube. I know how to do that midstream on. Hold on. I know how to do it midstream on Twitch. That's a good idea. Hold on. There's gotta be a way for me to do it from in here. Here we go. Right here. Boom. Okay, here we go. Boom. You genius. Thank you, Kenny. Save. Boom. Okay. It might need to be, might need to refresh the page, but boom. Oh, look at that. I pushed the button and it worked that time. Oh my gosh, that was close.
LPD.
Actually update before I refresh. That's awesome. Normally I feel like it's a refresh thing, but the fact that you did it, that's awesome. I could have swore I dodged that, but whatever.
Throw it.
I was literally trying to avoid that. Oh, no you don't. That is so rude, that is so rude, that is so rude.
Give me a stim.
Cut me some slack, dude. Cut me some slack. Cut me some slack. Chill out. They just keep going and going and going. So rude. I can feel that vibrating. Are you about to load in already? I had been driving these streets my entire life, but I never before realized how completely the entire civilization of Miami is devoted to pizza. The city was literally, I almost said literally, the city was littered with the stuff. Well, yeah. A lesser man would certainly have weakened and stopped at one of the many pizza parlors, especially since the smell of hot pizza somehow drifted into the car, even with the air conditioning on, and it had be and it and it had been several hours since I had eaten too. What do you mean a lesser man? You mean a good
That wasn't it.
freaking
The echo hasn't
stepdad?
faded.
Freaking get the kids some pizza.
Gotta stay calm.
Um, my mouth began to water, and every time one of the kids said Pizza Hut, I was sorely tempted to park the car and attack a large with everything. But Lillian was waiting, and my will was strong, and so I gritted my teeth and kept to the straight and narrow of Dixie Highway. And soon I was back in the hospital. Why does my brain skip words? And soon I was back in the hospital parking lot and trying to herd two unwilling children into the building. It's like you see the small word. It's like, oh, you know that word. You don't need to read it. It's like, yes, you do. It's important. The word "the" is more important than you really think it is. Just look at SpongeBob. Remember that big old fancy "the"? That was a really good "the."
Stim! Up here.
Ah, I freaking timed it just poorly. I was just about to hit it. I was just hitting it too. Oh man, that one was my bad. That was my bad. That's why I do the jump when he does the tongue move. Because no matter how many times I try and time it. Ah. The foot dragging continued all the way across the parking lot. At one point, Cody even stopped dead and looked around as if he had heard someone call his name, and he was even reluctant to move again, even though he was not yet standing on the sidewalk. Cody, move along, you'll get run over. He ignored me. His eyes moved across the rows of parked cars and fixed on one about 50 feet away. Cody, I said again, and I tried to nudge him along. He shook his head slightly. Shadow guy, he said. I felt small I felt small and prickly feet on my spine, and I heard a cautious unfolding of dark leathery wings in the distance.
Didn't work.
Shadow Guy was Cody's name for his dark passenger, and although it was untrained and it could not be ignored, I stopped and looked at the small red car that had caught his attention, searching for some clue that might resonate with searching for some clue that had caught his dude. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'll freaking read the same freaking line. It's like, stop combining the line. That had caught his attention, searching for some clue that might resonate with my own inner sentinel. Someone was half visible through the windshield of the car, reading the New Times, Miami's weekly alternative paper. The New Times, an alternative paper. gonna say, please don't die. I saw that tongue way too late. Rude. 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 Oh boy. Damn you.
Buddy, help! Need an assist!
Ooh.
Hey, buddy?
The Bolshevik.
Here. Help!
Oh my gosh. That's just rude, sir.
Help! Help me, BD!
These guys were easier to fight in Fallen Order because, like, being able to, like, I feel like you could like the pause time thing was like more of a feature in that game that made you be able to freeze their tongue out and freaking catch it. That's not as easy to do in this. These things were easier to fight in the previous game.
Help, BD!
It's just rude, sir.
BD, I need help!
Bull, 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 bull. Oh my gosh, I almost had that. I almost had that. I almost had that. Shenanigans. Those things used to be way easier to fight. Yeah, that's like. Also, like a few days ago, I was getting notified by like it's like my phone likes to give me notifications on stuff that I don't even know is even like it's like, oh, game journalist shit, it's like things that could happen. This is like, game news. Even though I feel like most of the time it's just bullshit. Um I got one that said it's like, oh, the next Jedi game, like the Fallen Order Survivor. It's like, oh, the next Jedi game is gonna be taking place years in advance. It's gonna be a huge time skip. I'm like, yeah, I would assume there is. If there's not a time skip, if there's not a huge, like, I know there was a time
Something's
skip
still
between
wrong.
Fallen Order and Survivor, but even after I beat Survivor, if they did make a third game, I would expect it to be a huge time skip. I feel like I don't know, I don't remember if I said it out loud, but when I beat this game, I feel like I said, like, if they're gonna make a third game, it's gonna need to be taking place after Darth Vader's already gone. Like, I don't see them making another Jedi game where it's pre Fallen Republic, or the Free Fallen Empire. I don't see it. The next Jedi game, to me, in my opinion, it has to be a huge time skip. It has to be a huge time skip. So the fact that some people could even debate on that is wild, because I do not see the next game of this being anywhere close to this game.
We
Like,
can
the
do
next
this.
game of this, it has to be a huge time jump. That's it has to be that way. Where am I? All right. Whoever it was gave no sign of interest in us or anything else besides the cover story. An expose of our city's massage parlors. That guy is watching us, Esther said. I think they're just gonna skip a few years. I have a hard time seeing Cal live. Well, you gotta keep in mind, Marin's gonna be more of an impact because like, you know, she left between Fallen Order and Survivor to be like, you know, discover herself more. Well, she discovered herself. She's more powerful now, so he has her. I like it either way. It can't be like a year. It has to be a considerable jump. I'm not saying it's gonna be Cal when he's old, because like I think right now he's in his 20s. I would say probably put him in his late 30s. That's what I would say. Like if he's in his mid 20s right now, I would say at the latest mid 30s. At the latest. I'm not saying at the minute. I'm just saying at the latest mid 30s. That's what I would say. Boy. Just stop mimicking each other? Why are you guys just standing there? Bull. Oh my gosh. I thought of my earlier alarm and the mysterious bouquet of roses. Oh yeah, I guess that's some context I would need to put in. There was like he had like some kind of like inner alarm that alerted him of something that seemed weird, and then somehow a bouquet of roses was delivered to Rita's room, and Rita thought Dexter sent it, but he didn't do it. I wonder if they'll make Kata a companion. I don't know about a companion. I would probably think, you know, honestly, I could see Kata taking over Grease's job. I could see Kata being the next pilot. Like Grease already is missing an arm. I think in the next game it either will be either the death of Grease or Grease is already gone. I think Kata will be the next pilot. That's my thought. I think Kata will be the next pilot.
The echo hasn't faded. I guess that didn't work.
All right. I thought of my earlier alarm and the mysterious bouquet of Oh well, fine then. The freaking timing on his charge is always terrible.
Hey, buddy.
Ooh.
I need help.
Ah! So rude. So rude. Bolshevik. I cannot stress enough the bull of that one. That one I cannot stress enough. That one, not my fault. Not my fault. Bullshit. Alright. I thought of my earlier alarm and the mysterious bouquet of roses. It was the flowers that decided me. Unless there was a slow-acting nerve toxin in the roses, there was no real threat hovering around me. And while it was possible that the person in the car really was a predator of some kind, this was Miami after all. I felt no twinge of warning I felt no twinge of warning that he was focused on us. That guy is reading the paper, I said, and we are standing in the parking lot wasting time. Come on. Come on, Dexter. Did the previous books teach you nothing? Listen to the children. They usually know what the freaking they're talking about. They have a foresight of creepiness. The kids know. If the kids are saying creepy shit, listen to the kids. They know.
The
They
echo's lingering.
know. Cody turned slowly to look at me, an expression of surprised peevishness on his face. I shook his head and he didn't shake his head. I shook my head. I shook my head and pointed at the hospital. The two of them exchanged one of their patented looks and gave me a matching expression that said they were disappointed, but not surprised at my substandard performance. So help me, this game with its loading. All of a sudden, now that I want to freaking read while it loads, it's gonna freaking take quick. And then also look like shit until it freaking loads proper. It's like, cause why are you not rendered? Can't you render in and then load me in? Like, why does it look like shit? Like, why do we look like PS1 graphics?
Another. I need one.
Stop it.
PD, here.
Stop at the tongues. I dodged. Suck it.
Help.
Shenanigans.
Hey, PD1.
I was jumping. You would think a loading screen taking that long would at least render, right? That's what's been driving me crazy. It's like, you're impatient and want the game to load in quicker. Okay, here's the game loading in quicker. It's like, you don't load in if you're not gonna load, because you're making the game run worse. That's what drives me crazy about it. Is it's like, if it's gonna load in quick and not load in everything, it's gonna run worse and not things won't load properly. Let's see. Substandard performance. Then they turned together and began to walk. Then they turned together and began to walk again toward the hospital door. Cody glanced back at the car 3 times, and finally I did too. There was nothing to see except a man reading the paper, and eventually we got inside. Dexter is nothing if not a man of his word, and I led them straight to the vending machine for the promised candy bar.
Something's still wrong. Focus, Cal.
But once again, they dropped into sullen silence, staring at the vending machine as if it was some kind of torture device. I began to fidget with impatience. another real human emotion, making two of them so far. And I had to say, I was not enjoying my transform my and I had to say, I was not enjoying my transformation to the species. Come on, I said. Just pick one. But we don't want one, Aster said. Would you rather be hungry? I said, rather have pizza, Cody said softly. Rather pizza. Meanwhile, the freaking restaurant suggested you guys were saying we're mid. You want good pizza? Get Little Caesars. Hell yeah. Little Caesars is better than Domino's and most other places, and you cannot change my mind. I will never understand the people that think they're too good for Little Caesars. That's some good pizza. Jump! Why? Why? Just why? I was trying to deal with the tongue. Why did they think it'd be a good idea to have two Augos? Meanwhile, you can't do any of the freaking moves that made it easy to fight them. I could feel my jaw beginning to tighten, but I maintained my icy control and said, "Do you see pizza in this vending machine?" Mom says that's too much can. Mom says that too much candy can make you have diabetes, and too much pizza makes you have high cholesterol. I said through clenched teeth. Oh, I should probably say it that way then. And too much pizza makes you have high cholesterol. And going hungry is actually good for you, so let's forget the candy bar and go upstairs. I held out my hand to them and half turned toward the elevator. Come on, I said.
The echo hasn't faded. I guess that didn't work.
Yeah, no shit.
Focus, Cal.
Aster hesitated, mouth half open, and we stood that way for several long seconds. Then Cody finally said, Kit Kat, and the spell was broken. I bought Cody his Kit Kat, Aster chose the Three Musketeers, and at last, after what had seemed as long and painful as major surgery, we all got into the elevator and headed upstairs to see Lillian. I was just about to start the next paragraph.
Quick, help!
That's just rude.
Sam, here! Help me, here!
Bull. That dude, they are so inconsistent with that second bite. That bite attack and that follow-up bite is so inconsistent. They are so inconsistent with that follow-up bite, it's maddening. Alright. Okay, right here. We made it all the way to Rita's room without a word about pizza or diabetes, which I regarded as a miracle, and in my new human optimism, I actually thought we might get through the door and into Lillian's presence. But Aster stopped dead just outside the closed door. and Cody trickled to a halt behind her. What if we don't like her? Aster said. I blinked. Where does this stuff come from? That's what I was about to say. She's a baby. How can you not like her? I said. She's a beautiful little baby. She's your sister. Half sister, Cody said softly.
Didn't work.
You didn't work into freaking the game. Don't look at me and freaking the game and nonsense with your freaking me. Jenny Baumgarten has a little sister and they fight all the time, Aster said. You're not gonna fight with a Leanne, I said, appalled at the thought. She's just a baby. I don't like babies, Aster said, a stubborn expression growing on her face. You're gonna like this one, I said, and even I was surprised at the tone of firm command in my voice. Aster looked at me uncertainly and then at her brother, and I took advantage of the hesitation and seized the moment. Come on, I said, inside. I put a hand on each one and herded them both through the doorway. See what I mean with their inconsistent biting ass?
Toss it!
That's just rude.
Help me, BD! Give me a stim!
That is so rude. That is so rude. I cannot stress enough how rude that is. Not much changed in the tableau. It was still Madonna and child, with Lillian lying on her mother, who held her with one arm. Rita opened her eyes sleepily and smiled as we came in, but Lillian simply twitched a little and kept sleeping. Come meet your sister, Rita said. You both keep saying that, Aster said. She stood there, looking peevish until Cody pushed past her and walked over to stand beside the bed. His head was just about level with Lily Ann's, and he studied her for a long moment with apparent interest. Aster finally dribbled over to stand next to him, seemingly more interested in Cody's reaction than in the baby. We all watched as Cody slowly put a finger out toward Lily Ann and very carefully touched her tiny curled up fist.
I could do this.
Soft, Cody said, and he stroked her hand gently. Lily Ann opened up her fist, and Cody let her grasp his finger. She closed his hand again, holding on to Cody, and wonder of all, Cody smiled. She's holding me, he said. I want to try, Aster said, and she tried to get around him to touch the baby. Wait your turn, he told her, and she took a half step back and jiggled impatiently until he finally took his finger away from Lillian's fist and let Aster have a turn. Aster moved right in to repeat what Cody had done, and she smiled too, when Lillian clutched her finger and the two of them took turns at this new game for the next 15 minutes. And for a whole half hour, we didn't hear a single word about pizza. That's the end of chapter 5. Did not mean to do that. Did not mean to do that. Surprised that didn't kill me.
Over here. Another. Buddy, hurry!
It is so rude.
Stim.
How many times is he gonna bite? What the freak?
Hey, BD.
Bull, 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 bull. I cannot stress enough how bull that one was. That one did not make any sense. Oh my gosh. I almost had it that time. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna focus on one. I'll focus on one, making sure one goes down so I can focus on the other one. Alright, chapter 6. How many chapters are in book 5? I know there's an epilogue. 41, I think. I think it's 40 and then the epilogue. Yeah, there's 40 and then there's an epilogue.
The Echo's still here.
It was very enjoyable for me to watch my three children, bonding with one another. But of course, any child could have told me that when you are enjoying yourself within sight of a grown-up, it is only a matter of time before the fun ends. And Rita, as the only real grown-up in the room, did not let us down. After a short while, she looked at the clock and then spoke up. "All right," she said, adding the dreaded words, "It's a school night." That is so rude.
Help me! Here!
Come on.
I'm hit. Hey, bud, Stim! Help, BD!
Did you guys calm down? That is so rude. That is so rude. That is so rude. That is so rude. You have to give me a chance. You can't just go, "Oh, he's getting close. Let's go absolute ham Hal." Cody and Aster exchanged another of their eloquent looks, in which no sound was made, but a great deal was said. "Mom," Aster said, "we're playing with our new sister." She said it as if it were in quotation marks, so Rita couldn't possibly object. But Rita was an old hand at the game, and she shook her head. "You can play with Lillian more tomorrow," she said. "Right now, Dex, Daddy has to take you home and put you to bed." They both looked at me as if I had betrayed them, and I shrugged. "At least there's pizza," I said. The kids were nearly as reluctant leaving the hospital as they had been going in, but somehow I managed to herd them out at the door and into my car. Rather than repeat the horrors of the trip over and reel from the fumes of pizza all across town, I let
The echo
Esther
hasn't
use my
faded.
phone.
I guess that didn't work.
Shut up, Cal. I let Esther use my phone to order as we drove, and we had only been home for 10 minutes or so when our dinner was delivered.
Gotta stay calm.
Yeah, that's why I'm reading, dude. Cody and Esther tore into the pizza as if they hadn't eaten in months, and I felt lucky to get 2 small slices without losing an arm. After we ate, we watched TV until bedtime, and then plunged into the familiar rituals of brushing teeth, putting on pajamas, and climbing into bed. It was a little bit strange for me to perform the ceremony. I had witnessed it often enough, but Rita had always been the high priestess of bedtime, and stupidly enough, I felt a little anxious that I might do some part of it wrong. But I kept thinking of what Rita had said in the hospital when she had verbally stumbled and called me Dex Daddy. I truly was Dex Daddy now. Wow, you just gonna call yourself that for the rest of the books, Dex Daddy? That'd be crazy. You know what? Let's pick that up after this fight. They aggro past that certain health. It's so brutal. Yeah, and like they aren't. It's like, yeah, like they aren't aggro enough.
Another.
Maybe go for him first rather than his spawn.
Right here, buddy. Buddy, help. Toss it.
Oh boy! Bullshit!
Now. BD.
Oh,
Help, BD. Help.
come on, you dickheads. I blocked. I pushed the block button. I pushed it. I did. I pushed it. I pushed the button. You didn't register the button. You did it. You didn't button. You didn't push. You didn't register the button. Push the button. The controller. The button. Push the button. I truly was Dex Daddy now, and all this was my turf. Soon I would perform the same rites with Liliane, guiding her and her siblings through the treacherous shoals of nighttime and safely into bed, and I found this an oddly comforting thought. In fact, it sustained me all the way up to the time when I finally had Cody and Aster tucked in and I reached for the light switch. "Hey," Aster said, "you forgot prayers." I blinked, suddenly very uncomfortable. "I don't know any prayers." "You don't have to say it," she said. "Just listen. I suppose that anyone with even a little bit of self-awareness will eventually feel like a complete hypocrite in the company of children, and this was my time. But I sat down
The
with a
echo's
very
still
solemn
here.
face and
I
listened
don't
to the
think that did it.
sing-song nonsense they recited every night.
Gotta stay calm.
I was reasonably sure they didn't believe any of it any more than I did, but it was part of the procedure, and therefore it had to be done, and we all felt better when it was over with. "All right," I said, standing up and turning off the light. "Good night." "Good night, Dexter," Aster said. "Night," Cody said softly. In the normal course of things, I would What is with this game and loading when it... Oh, when I want it to load quick, you're just gonna make me sit here for freaking minutes on end. But when I want to freaking actually utilize your time to utilize that time of nonsense, you're gonna freaking... Why can't I throw it? Why is this game so buggy? I can't throw my saber. You hear me pushing the button, you see me blocking. That means you're supposed to throw it. What the freak? That wasn't my fault. The game broken. The game busted. The game dumb. The game broken busted. In the normal course of things, I would probably sit down on the couch with Rita and watch another hour of television, just for the sake of disguised maintenance. But tonight, there was no need to subject myself to the ordeal of pretending the programs were funny or interesting. So I didn't return to the living room. Instead, I went down the hall to the small room that Rita called my study. I had used it mostly for research connected to my hobby. There was a computer for me to track down those special individuals who deserved my attention, and there was a small closet where I could store a few harmless items like duct tape and 50-pound test fishing line. There was also a small filing cabinet which I kept locked, that contained a few folders holding notes on prospective playmates, and I sat at my little desk and opened this up. There wasn't a I'm about
The
to go
echo's
see
still...
Mando and Grogu in a bit, mostly because I'm bored. Hope you beat the frogs. Oh, that sounds awesome. I want to see it, but I'm kind of behind on some of the things. Um, there wasn't a great deal there at the moment. I had two possibilities, but due to the press of events, I had not really pursued either of them, and now I wondered if I ever would. Not bored of you. Yeah, I get it. Like, I'm freaking... Dude, I don't even know where to begin. Like, I did not take... You're... Again, I can't throw my saber. I can't switch my stance. Dude, I can't switch my stance. Just kill me. I'm done with this fight. Like, I wasn't gonna take any offense to this thing, because, like, dude, I've been bored out of stuff that, like, keeps me entertained lately. Like, man, I think that's just been life. Life's just been going through a slug.